Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Bench Seat podcast. We are episode, I think, like 6, or I don't really know, to be honest with you, for this season. What are we?
Four.
5. As always, we are brought to you by MyBookie. Sign up to MyBookie. Use promo code GRILLGUY. You get 50% of your deposit matched. You have $2,000, you put it in, you get $1,000 matched. That's $1,000 in free bets. We got football coming up. Today we got the conference championships. We got the Super Bowl coming up, the big game, as they say. And then we have college basketball riding out. Sign up to MyBookie using promo code GRILLGUY. Speaking of Grill Guy, the guy to my right here, Mr. Niang. How we doing, Mr. Yang?
I'm doing great. And today on the Bench Seat podcast, we have, it's a huge day for the podcast. We have no one other than the one, the only, the 800 game played in his NBA career, Tristan Thompson, also known as TT.
Let's give it up for TT.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Yeah.
Do you guys tell Ty Jerome that promo code? You can use it for today's game.
And when we say Ty Jerome, he only bets on football, so don't take that the wrong way.
Only
I know you
football.
people are going to get on like hoops hype and put something on there like Cavaliers are gambling.
Yeah.
That's why they're on a 3-game
losing streak, right? We're paying ourselves back for all these wins that we had 5 weeks winning.
Oh my God, that actually is too funny. No, but thanks for coming on. We know that you have a lot of stuff going on. You could easily be
anywhere
playing
else.
Video games somewhere.
Shut
else.
up, George. Of course I gotta come on the bench. Shut up.
Well,
Come on, broski. I gotta come here.
being a guy from Canada in Saskatchewan or Brampton.
This guy says Saskatchewan is crazy. This guy thinks I'm Trey Lyles.
No, but I mean, we were just talking about your overall journey to get here. Like, you were like one of the pioneers of like Canadian hoops, because people don't remember, like 20 years ago, Canadian hoops would be like USA against Canada. That's not even a matchup, and you were kind of like the pioneers to leave Canada, somehow end up in New York, New Jersey, playing high school hoops, and then eventually kind of making your way to Texas and then the NBA, which is obviously going to college to the NBA isn't rare, but coming from Canada and then doing high school. And we definitely have to mention that you played for, Coach Hurley, but we'll get into that later. But talk about like you being a pioneer in Canadian hoops, because you really didn't have anybody to follow moving forward.
I mean, for me, I guess as a pioneer, those guys before me from Toronto that obviously like Toronto guys will know, like those guys. Obviously, Denham Brown went to UConn, won a championship there, got drafted second round to the Seattle Supersonics. Fortunately, never played a game there, but he was one of those guys. Jamal McGlure, but a lot of those guys didn't get a lot of recognition in the city. I think just because they were just so much older than us. So for myself, the only guys I got to look up to was like, if I tell you guys these names, you're like, who the hell? Like, a guy
They're legends in like Toronto.
the legend Toronto.
Give one a quick shout out though.
I'm gonna give a shout out. Okay, so like Theo Davis, he's from he's a Rexdale man.
Yeah.
Went to.
By the way, timeout. Rexdale.
Yeah, he's a Rexdale man.
If you're out and about and a shorty tells you she's from Rexdale, run.
It sounds like you had an experience. I think on the pod, they're gonna realize like how super close we are, but also like you're like an honorary Torontonian.
Yeah,
you know more about Canada.
Yo, mans are from the city scene.
Yeah, Niger Beak.
Six side Niger Beak is hilarious. No, but the Jamal McGlure one is a good one because I didn't even know that he was from Canada, but he by far is the loudest coach at all times. In pregame warm-ups, he's like, ball, shot.
Who does he coach for?
Yeah, he used to coach for Toronto, but that's why it kind of ended up.
Was like hoops culture not as big, or was it coming up while you were coming up, or what was that like? Like, I mean, obviously basketball culture is huge, but
yeah, obviously Canada's, it's predominantly hockey, but I think the reason why Toronto has so many NBA players right now and like high Division I athletes is just because the melting pot, right? Like I always say, like Toronto's like a combination of. If New York or Chicago had a baby, but just take everyone from the Caribbean and Africa and just put them in there as well. Like that's why.
Sounds fun honestly.
So that's what Toronto is, right? Toronto's like all like myself, first generation Canadian.
Yeah.
But like everyone's parents are from like the islands or Africa, right? So, for them, there was no ice, so hockey doesn't exist. And they're like, "What is that? Ice? Yeah, put ice in your soda." Like hockey was nothing. They're like, "What is that?" No, I'm to you, no.
Me not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Me not do ice. This ice thing. Me not do the ice.
2 blood clot cough me now.
Is this what you guys just do? Is this how you always communicate? You're just doing a Canadian, like West Indian accent?
Absolutely. And I think the best thing that we have is like when we know it's time to be serious, we can be serious. And I think people realize that. But other than that, like, you think about the life that you lead, and obviously, Tristan has, won championships, been a lottery pick. So like, should be enjoyable. This should be fun. Yeah. So he's always like a great reminder because I'm like one of the older dudes. So we gravitate towards each other because there's so many young guys on our team. It's like, what are we stressing about?
Yeah. Even for George, I think guy from like, kid from Boston, Massachusetts area, goes to Iowa State, I don't even. Do you get drafted? Or you go undrafted?
I got drafted, fam. I told you this.
My bad. What did you like 55?
50.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, like, so like the fact that George, like, he's like the epitome of like what a pro is, right? Like, not like a McDonald's All-American. A guy that had to work for what he had. Was a hell of a player at Iowa State. I told him I watched him, and I think it was like, what was it, the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 in San Antonio when y'all played there.
Yeah.
So like, I've always been a George Niang fan, and see him blossom.
Those teams were awesome. Like, I loved watching your teams too. Yeah. It is. I did hear something a broadcaster said the other day. By the way, I was telling George that the tone is changing around Mr. Niang for the away broadcast. Like, if you watch the away broadcast, they're saying like a lot of nice things about him, which they should have been all along. But I think you've played by far the most games out of any NBA player that's ever played in the G League. You just hit 500 NBA games, and that's a crazy feat.
Man, I'm telling you, that stuff's not easy, man. Like, listen, like, I remember everyone's journey is different. Like, for me, obviously, like, being a first round pick, number 4, like, but like, he's like, I think like guys like George and their story is like, it's what motivates the kid that's, in high school, he's a junior, not getting heavily recruited.
No star, 3-star, 1-star.
3-star. Maybe he's got like, how you got like, he's got like the Cleveland States of the world, or Toledo's recruiting him, and like, he might think like that's all he has, but you just never know. Like, and I think George is self-made, and I think that's why we gravitate towards each other, because it's like, he's beat all the odds. And I always tell guys, like, if you beat the odds, there's no reason why you should be nervous in the game. There's no reason why you should question yourself. Like, you're playing with the fucking house's money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're already here.
I shouldn't be here, but I'm going to be here. And if you're going to mess up, I'll just keep on taking this house money.
Exactly. Like, just fucking enjoy it. So, like, that's what I love about George. Like, he just enjoys life. And I think, like, as you get older, you appreciate the guys that obviously know how to be a pro, but know how to just enjoy this shit, because it goes by so fucking fast.
Quick, I mean, like.
What is this, 14?
Yeah, 14 years.
It feels like this, right?
What? Yes. Think about when I came to the league, I was playing with guys like Antoine Jameson, Anthony Parker. Like, Anthony Parker's a GM for the Orlando Magic. This guy was my teammate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was just like, think about that, right? Like, James Jones was my teammate. He's vice president of the Suns. Like, that's how long I've been doing this. Like, I was wearing baggy shorts and like disgusting Adidas warm-ups. I was like, disgusting.
Disgusting.
I want to get to that like era of basketball, because a lot of people talk about the 2010s as like some of the just such a great era of basketball. But before we get to that, can you talk about what your like high school journey was like, coming to Newark, New Jersey at St. Benedict's? Like, was there a culture shock? What was that like? Had you been to America? What was that whole transition like?
Nah, it was actually amazing. So I'm in Toronto. I'm in the 10th grade. So I definitely reclassed. Put that out there.
You're playing foreign kids that are like 5'6".
So I'm in 10th grade in Canada, Toronto, right? And I'm playing varsity, right? So I'm playing varsity, and in Toronto, you could be a 5th year in high school, like normal high school. Like, they always give you a 5th year. Obviously, Canadian education is hard as shit. So that's another reason why I fucking left, because I wanted to go Division I. I'm not going no.
Like, what is this calculus?
I'm like, what is this, man? But anyways, so I'm playing varsity. I'm dominating. I'm playing very well. I'm kicking everyone's ass. I remember I kept begging my mom since the 8th grade. I was begging my mom, like, I want to go to the States. I want to go play Division I. Like, I don't think I can achieve that staying in Canada, just because the guys that were from Toronto, they were going to schools like Central Connecticut State, New Hampshire University. They were just going to schools where at the end of the day, like, my big picture was the NBA, right? And I just felt like, especially back then, if you're going to those schools, you're not going to make it to NBA. And I remember playing AAU, going to Vegas, going to my 9th grade year, playing and getting an offer from Auburn University. So when that happened, I was like, okay. I looked up Auburn. They're not good, but they had like, I think it was like
70,000 students that go to school. SEC.
SEC, but I'm like, that's like considered a high major conference, SEC, right? So I'm like, okay, well, if in the 9th grade I'm getting an offer from Auburn and I'm just coming to play one tournament in Vegas, imagine if I was in America full time, going against a competition, like I can definitely do something with this and actually really make basketball like a real living for myself and my family. So, you know, go through 10th grade, dominate, convince my mom. I actually go down to St. Benedict's. So what Dan Hurley used to do, he would actually have, I noticed after once I joined the team, he would have guys that they were thinking about bringing to the squad come and work out with the team. And then when I went there, it was like Samardo Samuels, who played in the NBA for a couple years.
Yes.
Went to Louisville, big. Like, he was like a man amongst boys. Scott Machado, he played in the NBA for a little bit. Tamir Jackson, he played at Rice. So they had like Division I players.
Yeah.
And you know who actually was there too working out? Chris Smith, JR's brother.
Oh, yeah, JR's brother. From Millstone, New Jersey.
Yes, because at St. Benedict's, you know, you have a prep year as well. So you have like the high school team, you have the prep team. So
Prep team, for all you don't know, is the team that is the team.
Yeah. So I'm working out with them, playing well. I'm 10th grade. I'm like 220 pounds, long, athletic. Used to be left-handed.
Yeah.
So I'm playing. I'm doing well in the workouts. So then Coach Hurley's like, yeah, we want you to come to St. Benedict's. Go to my mom, beg her. One of my teammates from AAU team, Mike Kabongo, who played at University of Texas, another McDonald's
Shout out
All-American.
Mike Kabongo.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
Legend.
Toronto legend as well. So we go there together. It's a prep school, so it's like you're staying on campus with dorms. It's an all boys school.
Yep.
Which is like
Useless.
it's definitely useless.
They have
I'm
a
like,
sister school, I'm sure, right?
like our
what
time.
does that
But
mean?
it's like,
Yeah.
it was like no disrespect to like St. Matt, but you felt like you were just in jail. Like remember, we're in Newark, New Jersey. We're right in the hood, like Market and
can't
MLK.
leave.
No, like if you from Jersey and you say, yo, I'm at Market and MLK, like you're in the hood. Like at 5 p.m. businesses shut down. The freaking like metal things come down.
You can't go to a deli.
No deli, Dunkin'.
You know what type of people are out there? Delaying.
For sure. So I'm there. Obviously, the culture shock was like, you know, being at a Catholic school in Toronto, you know, you can't curse.
Yeah.
But at St. Benedict's, guys are like, curse, like, yo, fuck you, fuck your mom.
Oh, yeah, probably like in the school, too. Like,
so I asked the teacher, I'm like, we're allowed to curse there? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
oh, shit.
This school fucking sucks.
Yeah. So that was actually the crazy, like, that was like the wow moment. Like, I'm really in America.
You're like, holy shit.
And another culture shock was like, how serious, I mean, like, it's kind of sad, but it's the reality. Like, in basketball, like, and you know this as well, like, a lot of parents put, like, their entire family and life savings hoping that this one child can, like, really make it. It's almost like basketball or die mentality. But I actually loved that because, like, I wanted to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I felt like in order for me to have that, like, that drive and that, like, juice, I had to come to the States.
Yeah.
So, like, even though it was a culture, but it was like, I wanted that. Like, I wanted that smoke, you know?
Yeah, New Jersey basketball, especially at that level with the big, and probably you during then was like Modern Day was probably really big.
Yeah, but remember back
St.
then, like,
Gil's, all those
Yeah.
big schools.
New York, and like everyone was like, oh, all the ballers come from New York. Or
No, they went to the Jersey schools.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
that area, people considered like that's where the best basketball player was. Like we're talking about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what people were like, oh, the best basketball players come from New York. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, the best someone that's like street ball and handling. Now you realize it. But you actually like played for a coach that is now obviously leading UConn. And like he has crazy stories like on a massive level. I can only imagine the crazy stories that happened in high school. Like you probably could sit here for hours and tell us, but you gotta tell us because somehow you managed to get kicked off the team and then went right back into like the high school scene and like still were killing. Like for
that season,
for a high school coach to kick off like a top 5 player and then still maintain his job and the guy can still play somewhere else is crazy.
No, yeah. So I love Coach Hurley to death. Like he was like definitely like a father figure to me. But like that motherfucker was like crazy. Like he'd come to practice and like if like for instance like if you shoot a shot like what the fucking shot is that? And like one time it was practice did the Hulk Hogan like ripped his shirt like this. Mind you, it's Sunday. Me and Michael Bongo stayed at his house that weekend. He comes like, and then so crazy, like with his kids, he's like, you know, Andrew's son, and like he's all nice and calm. Come to practice, like, fucking, then got these fucking idiots, rips his jersey, rips his shirt, kicks the ball. One time he kicked the ball, but it didn't go nowhere. Like, you're just like, just looking at him like Coach Hurley was like off the fucking charts. Like he would like break the clipboard. He'll take the chairs and throw. Like he was literally like on some like Bobby Knight shit. But he gets it from his dad, and I think it's just how they were. But I think that's what made them like so great because they just wanted the best for you. And like they gave you that tough love. But I mean, for me, I grew up like that because my father was like that. So it brought the best out of me. Like a lot of kids probably crumbled and couldn't handle it. But if you could play, like I always said, like if you could play for Coach Hurley, you could play for any coach in the world.
Yeah, because I think the way I look at it is if you can handle that pressure at 16, 17, 18, like then when you get, the rest is like great. Like, no, I dealt with the hardest stuff. Like when I wasn't playing for money, when I wasn't playing for, you know, the accolades. Yeah, I got the hardest freaking coaching. And if I made it through that, like what is a fan telling me I suck? What is a GM telling me they don't think I'm good enough? It's like, okay, I'm going to double down on my success and look how far, I mean, you talk about your experience with him, and I mean, people could say, oh, like offensive this, offensive that, but at the end of the day, like you get the job done, whether if it's rebounding, defending, scoring. You know what I mean? You found a way, like you say, you carve out a niche, like just we talked about me, is carving out a niche to sustain your career when you've had so many opportunities to be like, man, this is too hard. Like, I'm cool. And then like you move on, you talk about it, you go to Finlay Prep, which is essentially, for anybody, go look it up. Finlay Prep is like the resorts of all prep schools. This guy went from being in jail to literally a resort world.
No, literally, that's literally what I called it when I transferred. So I get kicked off the team, right? So this will happen.
No, literally, it's
She's like, that's what I called it.
No, that's literally what I called it when I got to Finlay Prep. So anyway, so back to how I get kicked off the team, right? So, you know, like in high school, if you lose one game, you don't qualify for national championship back then at the time. So we lose to St. Pat's. Kyrie, it's like Kyrie's game. Like it's us versus Kyrie. Yeah. It's like Kyrie, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and I think like Dexter Strickland, right? So we're playing this at Rutgers, the main arena.
Yeah.
It's sold out. We get whopped by 20-something points.
Oh,
like
geez.
we get fucking drilled, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, Coach Hurley and Kevin Sutton had a major beef, right? So you lose that one game, we're pissed off. Then we go to Orange County for Nike Extravaganza, play Modern Day with like Gary Franklin, the Weird Twins. Lose that game as well. So now if you lose 2 games, you definitely can't be national champs, right? So he's stressed out because like he knows we can't be national champs. I'm pissed off because like I'm no more playing the country and my teammates, and like we just suck right now. We're not winning. Like we should have beat Modern Day. No, like fucking the Weird Twins. Like come on, fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, no disrespect, you guys did a lot of good things, but
but come on, bro. Like seriously, Jersey black guys and then like Orange County white guys, like seriously, cheese me.
They're like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
totally.
this guy's going surfing after just beating us by 20.
Well, there's another school down there, CBA, that's very similar now, where it's just like all white kids, none of them are over 6'2", and they dominate like big teams sometimes because they're just like strong white kids that shoot the shit out of the ball, play really hard. So anyway, it's annoying.
Yeah, so we have this game against, I think it's Piscataway Prep, like, you know, in Jersey.
It's Piscataway,
yeah. So these random schools, right? So I remember like we're up by like 40. This is the crazy thing about me getting kicked on the team. So we're up 40. So then one of my teammates, Tavon Sledge, he went to Iowa State. See? Yes. See, there's so much connection with me and George. And it's like
Did you plan that? Because you said it at the exact same time.
No, when he said his name, I was like, well, he went to Iowa State.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, like me and George have like so many. I feel like in past life, we were probably actually like very close friends. We're probably like twins. Yeah, like literally. So Tavon Sledge, remember, he shoots a 3. I don't even know if he misses or makes it. We're up 40. So I'm like, who cares? I shoot a 3. They run back on defense. Yeah. He starts cursing me out. After a time, I'm like, we're up by 40, coach. Like, what's wrong with you? So he's spazzing on me. I spaz back. Because we're just both pissed off, you know? So then he's like, get the fuck off the bench. Send me to the back, right? Whatever, sends me to the back. Game's over. Going to the dorms. The dorm is like right beside the arena, right beside the gymnasium. Then after they're like, next thing you know, I see an article like, Tristan kicked out the team for public insubordination. I'm like,
oh wait, you weren't even told? You just kind of were like,
I saw it like literally on like what was that guy, Adam Zagoria? Like he said that form, that basketball form. So I see it, I'm like, the hell? And like, so anyways, whatever. I transfer. I go to Finlay Prep because Corey Joseph's down there at the time. Me and Corey Joseph super close. Play same AAU team. Family super close. So I remember I hit him. My AAU coach hits him. Roy Russell. He's like, yo, Tristan's available. They're like, yo, come down. They were stacked. They had Avery Bradley, pro. Yeah, DJ Richardson, he went to Illinois, very good college player. A couple other guys that played Division I. Yeah. So I go down there.
Avery Bradley, Corey Joseph, where'd they all end up going? There's a little Canadian connection.
You know. But at that time, I was committed to Texas as well. So, you know, call Rodney Terry. Coach, man, I got kicked off the team. We got to figure this out. So whatever, I bounce back, go to Finlay. So when I'm transferring, this is when ESPN comes out that they're gonna have a national championship tournament. It's the first time ever it's done.
That Dick's tournament or
yes,
whatever?
Yes, so they do it at Georgetown Prep in Maryland, right?
That's right.
So, of course, Finlay qualifies, Oak Hill qualifies as well. St. Benedict qualifies because those are only 2 games that they lost. One's when I was there.
Oh, yeah.
So I leave, they don't lose another game the rest of the year because the rest of the games were not even like
Yes.
that good of teams, shit teams, right? So it's crazy. We go to this tournament, right? I see those guys in the hallway. And like, obviously when I see my teammates, I hug them, dap them up.
Yeah.
Coach Hurley sees me, we just don't speak, right? So whatever, we win that tournament. I remember I did like a windmill on a fast break and I killed that tournament.
Felt good.
Like I felt good. I got my lick back, right? National champs. I bounced it's like anything. Like you leave one girl and you get a better one after that. She's lit. You're the girl from the local high school. You're like, you beat it. You know?
One's in Arizona, one's in the freezing cold winter of Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, right. So go to Finlay Prep. I feel like I'm free.
Yeah.
Get laptops. We're staying in a house.
It's Vegas.
No curfew. They drove us to like South Point Hotel that gives us like amazing like all you can eat buffet brunch. Damn. And like it's just amazing. Like Mr. Finlay, like he definitely knew how to take care of guys and like set us up nice. So I just felt like the freedom was there. And then go to Texas, me and Corey, and then
kind of was like a blessing in disguise a little bit sometimes like those.
Yeah. And I think me and Coach Hurley, when we saw each other at J.R. Smith's wedding, we spoke, and like he even said, he's like, like one of my biggest mistakes was like not figuring it out between us, because I think, and I listen, 2 wrongs don't make a right, so like I was wrong for the way I conducted myself on the bench, and obviously he felt like the way he handled it could have been better, but I think it made us both better people because I think it made me appreciate like you gotta like. And no matter how good you get, you're never bigger than the game.
Right.
And then I think for him as a coach, is like, sometimes you got to pick and choose your moments. Yeah. But it worked out for both of us, right?
Yeah, you guys are
He's
both
winning national championships. You're paid and winning
the NBA championships.
Lottery pick.
Overall. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I mean, you went to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we'll just say it was like a 6-month deployment, whatever you want to call
it. Was amazing. They knew what it was too. Rick Barnes knew what he signed up for. I was like, I'm only coming for a quick second. I remember like the other schools, like I remember like Kansas and like North Carolina and the Duke, and they're like, yeah, you could be like Sheldon Williams or Sean Me. I'm like, no, I'm not here for that long. This is a quick in and out thing.
For a good time,
quick. That's why USC was on my top 5. Tim Floyd knew the deal. Just got caught up with that OJ Mayo
so
shit.
Did you kind of just had like, why was your thought process that way? Because you're like, man, I should strike when the iron's the hottest.
The hype that he had. When you're the number 1 player in the country, I don't care who you are. They've put in enough time to see you to put you as the number 1 player in the country, and enough NBA teams have told those people who do those rankings, this guy has the potential to be that. So all you have to do is go in and just not be a complete, total bum. Yeah. And he probably knew, like, I play hard enough and rebound and, like, get enough dunks that it's like, I know where I'm in. And the game was different back then, so he could play 2 positions, 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. And then we talk about you being a lottery pick, because I really don't want to talk about Texas because they've been a thorn in my side since I was in the Big 12. But you were in Cleveland before LeBron came back.
Yeah.
Like, so you and Kyrie were here just playing like...
Literally 2-man game. Literally, they do turn 5 for me. Like, literally, I used to get like post-ups, like cross-screen post-ups. Listen, the year before LeBron came, I averaged 13 and 9.
Yeah, you were like...
As a rookie?
Rookie year. So I had Antoine Jameson playing him. So I get drafted, right? Antoine Jameson is my vet. They trade J.J. Hickson to make room for me. So it's Varejao at center, Jameson at the 4, right? Okay. Andy gets hurt. He misses like the last 25 games. They put me in the starting lineup. I think I finished that year averaging maybe like 8 and 6 or something like that. Good for a rookie. Yeah. I get second team all rookie. Yeah. I'm in the rookie sophomore game in Orlando. Second year, numbers improve, damn near double-double. Third year, have Mike Brown, damn near double-double. And for me and Kyrie, it was just like we were just trying to build this out. I remember
like you were the 2 young big picks that were like, this is going to be our team moving forward, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so...
But you knew you were waiting on the head honcho, though.
Yeah, we knew his big bro's coming back. Listen, because we're all tight in. So, like, he tells, like, he told me and Kyrie, like, our rookie year, like, I watch all your guys' game, like, keep getting better and, like just keep getting better. Yeah. And, like, get yourself ready.
Keep getting better.
Yeah, get yourself ready because, like, he's gonna run the Miami flex, and like, the guy, he wants to finish the prophecy. That's what they said. The prophecy to bring back the championship to the land. So, me and Kyrie, we took that and worked on our game. Obviously, we got some different guys in between. We drafted like Deion Waiters, Tyler Zeller, and I want to give a big shout out to like Chris Grant, the GM that kind of helped construct the whole thing to get like, because no one ever talks about it. Like, like he set up all the contracts where we had a lot of cap space, but we had valuable assets to open it up for Bron and get another player. Yeah. Because it wasn't about just getting LeBron to come back. Like
you get one more piece.
Yeah, he had to bring some luggage with him. Like we knew like we needed another piece as well, right? So
big piece that was too.
Yeah, K-Love. Like
huge.
Yeah, being able to like get off like Anthony Bennett and then obviously drafting Andrew Wiggins and then like some picks and having the cap space like to go get other like veterans. Like
the flexibility.
Yeah, the flexibility that's hard, and especially for like, like when you're a rebuilding team, most agents, like if your agent called you right now and said, yo, like George Niang, like, do you want to go to like, I don't know, what team in the NBA, like Charlotte or something, right? Like George would be like, all right, if I'm leaving a playoff team, I need some years guaranteed.
Yeah,
he was able to set it up where like everyone was on like a 2-year deal. I think our longest deal was like Jared Jack on a 4-year deal, but at like $4.5 million.
Yeah.
Which
back then was really.
Yeah, it's good.
That's easy to move, right? Mm-hmm. And then coming from like Jared Jack was like third in 6-man with Golden State. Yeah. So like he had enough like rapport where it was easy to move him off, right? So LeBron comes back. We go from like being like, people used to call us like the Shitaliers, and then we were like the Beatles. Like
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He said the Shitaliers.
Yo, bro, I ever see Twitter, they're like the Shitaliers. Downtown was dead. Like literally, I was like, oh my God.
Obviously the basketball is probably so crazy, but what was like, how did the city change?
Bro, this place was the Vegas of the Midwest.
Did it go crazy?
Man.
Like, what was it like?
People were flying in here to sit courtside. Like, I remember we'd play them, and this was like later on. We'd play them, and they'd be like freaking like superstars sitting like Ronaldo sitting courtside. You'd be like, what?
It was crazy. Like one thing about Bron, like he's box office. Like he's real life box office. Like, they'll say like, like Steph and like Kate, like, no, but like Bron stuff is like, it's
top tier.
No, it's top tier.
Yeah,
it's like the Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Whitney Houston. Like when he like goes somewhere, like everywhere is packed. Yeah. He's like people like whenever, because I live in Bracknell, and to get to the arena, you pass the Signature Airport, the private airport.
Yeah.
So when I was going to the games, you'll see so many planes just landing on like a random Tuesday versus
Private
like Indiana. Private planes. Like he's box office. Like people would come from all over just to catch the games.
Where you going, Cleveland? Why? Got to see Bron.
Yeah, got to see LeBron.
Like, I can't imagine. First off, like then you start thinking about how that like the pressure that is just innately put on LeBron from an 18-year-old kid, right? From Akron, not far from here, from Akron. And now he's like literally not the biggest person in Cleveland, the biggest person probably in the country, and one of the biggest people in the world. It's like for him to kind of fight through all that and then like not only reach all the accolades he was supposed to, but then some, and like 21 years, 22 years later, it just puts it in perspective like how much pressure this dude was under. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't imagine.
It's nuts. Like for any human being to like endure that, like it's like you gotta really have tough skin.
Yeah.
And like for him, it's like he just but the thing is about him is like I think he likes the pressure. I think it gets him going. Like some people don't like it. Like you've been around other players that
like, no, I don't want to do that because then that would make it harder for me to do this.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah. He wants it. He wants it like the hard way. Like he likes like the challenge, right? And I think that's why he's able to like play at this level with so many years now. Like at year 22, still playing. Like to be honest, like for our business, like he has to keep playing. Like for the business of basketball, like as a business, he has to keep playing.
Yeah, box office. Don't ever get that twisted. People are like, oh yeah, Bron retired. No,
not yet. Until we find like a real like, and don't get me wrong, we have some young stars and like, and they're figuring it out and they're finding their way. But like at the end of the day, like the league still moves with LeBron James. At the end of the day, right?
Isn't that crazy?
And until we find something like that, he's got to keep playing.
Yeah. I do want to ask you briefly because you mentioned it. You said you used to be left-handed.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that process of now being a right-hand shooter?
Yeah.
Like what went into the thought process of switching, and like do you ever sometimes just go back once in a while and shoot with the left, or what's the whole thing like?
Yeah. So I'm ambidextrous, right? So I write left-handed. I could throw like a football, baseball with my right hand. Okay. So I do a lot of stuff left and right. jerk off left and right. But no, switcheroo, depends on how you feel that day. But no, so I'm left-handed, shooting left. I remember I was with Jeremy Pargo. He was my teammate. It was my second year in the NBA. We're in Phoenix, just finished shoot around, and we're like dicking around after practice, and we're just like shooting threes and like screwing around. So we're like, all right, let's shoot opposite hands. So I started shooting right hand. I remember Jeremy Pargo was like, man, that looks good. He's like, man, you should start shooting right-handed. I'm like, man, shut up, man.
And you're in the NBA at this point.
I'm in the NBA. I'm in my second year. I'm averaging damn near double-double, right? So I'm like, why not? Let's try it. And I was like, so the Cavs, they hired a guy named Dave Love, who's a shooting coach. Yeah. Very good guy. He worked with like guys like Aaron Gordon when he was with Orlando. I think he's working with like the Raptors now. Like, very good at what he does. He comes from the Chip English. So anyone who knows Chip English, he works for the Spurs. Yeah. He's helped all those guys.
Well, the Thunder now.
Yeah, with the Thunder now, right?
Yeah. He was the free throw shooting guru too, right?
Yeah. So he helped TP. Mm-hmm. He helped TP, Kawhi, Timmy. Yeah. Like, you just, anyone there, like DeJounte, anyone that was there that like, whose jump shot improved, he had something to do with it. Like, he's actually really good. And like, even like, look at Lou Dort's shot. Like, he's making threes now. Like, Chip is really like, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Shot doctor kind
of. He's the shot guru. Like, literally. So Dave Love came from that umbrella, worked with him, started shooting right-handed. He'd come with me everywhere all summer. And he was actually good for me. Like, I remember like, if you look at like my third year, I was like doing jab step jumpers.
You were like,
I was jabbing, like jab.
How'd you get that like, I couldn't imagine getting that confident and comfortable.
But this is the most confident guy you ever come across. You know what?
But like,
you worried about nothing.
No, it's just like the reps and like the way that Dave would like teach me about it and like coach me on it. Like, you just felt so comfortable. Like, and he was like, literally, he's like one of the best. So started shooting right-handed and kept it going. But I think also like, I remember I was talking to like my agent, Rich Paul, and I think like, if I was an American kid, I think I would have always probably been right-handed from the jump, because, you know, like in Canada, I told you, like, the coaches are great during that time, right? They knew only as much as they knew, right? So for me, I was like, all right, if you're left-handed, shoot left-handed.
Yeah, makes sense.
But like in America, where like basketball is like people more study, the coaching is more advanced. Yeah. Some probably like, hold on, son, before we figure out which hand, like shoot with both. Like, let's figure it out.
See
first.
what it is.
Let's see what both look like, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I might have just prolonged it, but
I've had a couple players that do everything right-handed and then they shoot left-handed, and it's the weirdest shot. And I get them in high school, so it's like I don't want to change it at this point, but it's like, this was a right-handed shot that got fucked up somewhere. Like some weird.
Your youth coach, he owes you a lot of money.
No. I did want to ask you another question. Like, okay, so one thing you, George, kind of both have in common is like, I mean, you're an undersized center, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even you're the number one player, you know, in the country at 6'9". That's undersized.
As a center, for sure.
Yeah, as a center, that's undersized. How have you been able to be so effective? Can you just blame it on like how high your motor is, or is there more to it? Obviously, you've got a great motor, but is there more to the success than just like you outwork everybody?
I remember when I did do my measurements, and it was like 6'9", but like the wingspan, I think wingspan would help us a lot, because I think my wingspan was like 7'3". So it's like what your age would say is like, but he plays like he's 6'10".
Yeah.
You know, like he
plays like he's 7 foot.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So, but for me, it was just like, just play hard and compete, right? Like, I think during that moment of time in the NBA, there was some guys that were a little understand, like Chuck Hayes, or like, you know, Kendrick Perkins. Yep. He was a starting center. Like, they had some, like, they didn't have this 7 foot guys. Like, you had guys like Jerome Williams. Like, you had a couple guys that were kind of like around my height. Yeah. But for me, I think it was just more so like motor and desire and want. Like, for me, my pre-draft workout, I remember Rich would always tell me, like, just go outwork everybody. Who cares about those jump shot drills? I don't care if you miss every shot. When they go to the 5-on-5, 1-on-1, 3-on-3, just outplay everybody, and that's what GMs are going to want to see, and that's what they're going to fall in love with. Because I remember Rich said something, and I always say this to anyone I'm around. Like, I even say to our coaching staff or players, I say, when a GM and a front office or ownership group is looking at a prospect, do the things that skill can't teach, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you playing hard and competing high motor is stuff that's just like embedded in your DNA. Yeah. You pay assistant coaches, head coaches, and skill development guys a lot of money to teach a player skill. So like even like when I say like, like some guys like big guards or guys that play like, like those things that are like God gifted abilities. I love those intangibles because I'm gonna go hire a coach to teach you that. That's why I hire you.
Right.
I'm hiring a skill development guy to teach skill.
Yeah.
The best of the best.
Yeah, like,
also
you're
Not
the
to
best
motivate or like,
yeah. Like I'm not hiring you to be a motivator. I need you to go teach this. Like if a guy can't shoot, but he can defend, run his ass off, high motor, like that. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to shoot. Find a shooting coach for him.
Lou Dort, right?
Yeah.
Like, guy's like a killer now.
Yeah.
And those things that you can't teach. And then there's like a funny story that kind of goes hand in hand with this. And I think like your give a fuck level at all times when he's on the court or like whenever he shows up to work, like is so much higher than everybody else's. Like we were down in Miami, right? Granted, we had like 3-4 days down in Miami and we're practicing, right? And it's like everybody's practicing. It's live. It doesn't really happen much. And Tristan is like, I think it was me, you, and someone else on the team, and he gets like an and one on like our starting group. And he's like, and someone was like, fuck out of here, like you practice player. And Tristan was like, yeah, well, considering I'm not getting in the game right now, yeah, I am a practice player, but I'm busting your ass.
Yeah, so and do something about it.
Yeah, so it was just where I was like, oh shit, like this guy takes every opportunity that he's in between the lines, whether it's practice, shoot around, or whatever. And it sounds cliche because everybody's like, take every moment seriously. And everybody's like, oh, well, it's a long season. Where it's like, when you do that, like, you can outplay the time that people think that you can stay in the NBA by however many years because your give a fuck level is so much more higher than everybody else's. So, like, your hard work, you're showing up every day, those intangibles that, like you said, you can't really teach. Outdo the things that can be taught, the shooting, the dribbling, and all that. And that's what's important is because if you don't give a shit, like someone that just works hard, like could be half the skill as you. And like I'm sure there's so many guys that like you mentioned like the Ware twins, and I'm not shitting on them, but all I remember in high school is that they were like, oh my God, they're so skilled, they could shoot, they could do all that. But like there was obviously something missing. That they weren't able to like crack in the NBA, and it's all about situation and opportunity. And then you look at someone who just like will literally like last night we put him in the game to go run people over, and he's in his 14th year, and they're like, yeah, we find that valuable.
I was gonna say like you stay ready and you never got to get ready because you're always ready. It seems like they call your number. So not only are you valuable on the court, but then like I'm sure that stuff also rubs off on everybody else where that also makes you valuable because it's like, these people are seeing you like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm in here like on a Wednesday in Miami practicing.
No,
right?
and talk to them and like even the young guys, if you are listening, like this isn't just a once every 2 days or 5 days. This motherfucker is in the gym. Like, sure, we may, go out, go to dinner, do this, do that. But I'll tell you this, and I said it before, he's on that fucking VersaClimber or the bike or lifting. Like when you walk in the gym and I'm walking in, my hood's on, he's dressed up, cut off, sweat, because he's trying to show off his muscles.
Body, yeah, but no, like with George, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you saying that. For me, it's like, I think it's something that like older guys sometimes realize, but they might realize too late. But I think it's also good for young guys to understand, like, yeah, I'm in year 14, and yes, would I love to play 20 minutes, 25 minutes a game and be out there with George in the second unit and play every night? Of course, sure. But like, I feel like for me at this point, it's like, how can I be the most valuable to our franchise? Not just our team, our franchise. Because I think when you're trying to build something on longevity, every puzzle piece matters, right? So for me, I feel like my puzzle piece to this team is like someone that's gonna, like in like practice, like when we're going through like 5-on-5, like I want to basically get our starters ready where if you can score on me, you can score on anybody, right? Like if I can bring some adversity to the practice and junk the practice up and you can stay locked in and you could get through that. Like I feel like when we get to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, you guys are able to withstand those tough times, right? Like I always look at like long-term, right? Or even like what George says, like lifting down the VersaClimb, like I'm doing it to show guys like, yo, like you always gotta be a pro no matter what's going on. And like hard work always beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Like I'm a big believer in that. Like at the end of the day, like in the playoffs, give me a motherfucker that's gonna play hard over the fucking cute, sexy skill guy. Because in the playoffs, like the grit and the grind shit actually wins you.
Shit,
the hard shit wins you stuff. Like, like that's what I love about George. Like I know like even if he's having a bad shooting night, I know if when the going gets tough and the shit gets real, he has the fucking balls to step up and shoot. Like even at Sarasota, like we had a practice and like,
Oh my God.
George shot like I think 21 threes in one scrimmage.
And missed all of them.
Yeah, but I like that because that means he's not scared not afraid of the moment. And like at the end of the day, like in the playoffs, you need guys with fucking big nuts.
Yeah.
Like that cute shit is cool for like my max player, but like the role players, you have to have balls of steel.
It seems like all your players are adopting that. Like that's probably what the difference between last year and this year is that your players are like, again, as an outsider looking in, are adopting that mentality. Like it's just you guys can be down by 7 going into the fourth quarter, and it's like it doesn't matter. Like this shit doesn't slow down. You guys come in waves.
It's becoming contagious. Like I even think like with even like George this season, like I think the difference between like last season, this season, I think George is like, he's got like you know, when you first sign with a team, right? You're trying to figure it out. You're not trying to ruffle feathers. Like you're just trying to like figure it out. But I think
hesitant. Now you're just like,
hesitant.
fuck it.
Yeah, like now I feel like George is like, it's almost like the mentality like I feel like us spending time with each other, like I'm rubbing off on him. But it's a great thing because it's like he's not afraid of the fucking moment, right? And I think our team has a lot of great human beings, but I think like
you need assholes.
We need some assholes, right? Like I think Max is an asshole, George an asshole, Ty's an asshole. DG this year is becoming an asshole, and I think that's why he's having such a great year.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It's great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, put your bid in for 4 All-Stars. I mean, we got to get these guys in, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, at the end of the day, Atlanta Hawks, they had freaking 4 All-Stars where they had Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, Millsap, and Horford. Our 4 is better than those guys.
Yeah, come on.
Come
Who
on.
you
last
kidding?
4 is better than that. For
Our last 4 is better. Yeah, fuck, I'm better than those 4, man. Right? Like, we got to get the 4 All-Stars in. Like, seriously, guys. Like, it's,
I mean, we talk about the sacrifice and the minutes going down and what we've been able to do as a team. You know, you talk about Darius, best point guard in the East for sure. I mean, best point guard in the league. Toss up.
numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the minutes that he plays and to have the production that he is, 90, 50, 40. Then you talk about Donovan, you know, continuing his tear.
MVP caliber.
Yeah, come on. And then you talk about Evan Mobley's jump. You talk about not giving a fuck. He went from being like, I don't know where, to being like, I'm here, I've arrived. And then you talk about Jared Allen. You talk about a center. Like, find me a center that shuts up, plays hard, plays every night,
Runs
rebounds,
the floor.
and then when guards are like, yeah, come set another ball screen. Oh, you didn't get it? No, come set another ball screen. And not say anything and be effective. Like, that's got to count for something. And while averaging a double-double on the best team, you know, in the NBA, we need those 4 All-Stars in. If you can, I don't think you can vote, but
they need to be in.
they
Coaches.
they need to be in. Coaches,
the
do
big
the right
dogs.
thing.
Yeah, do the right thing if I pull up on you.
Okay, I want to play a quick game before we end. Obviously, you were on the 2016 championship team. So you've had a lot of teammates that were Cavaliers, right? I mean, how many years now are you a Cavalier? I think
11, right?
11 years.
Is it 11? Is it going on 11 or going on 12?
I think maybe
11.
going on 12.
Yeah, one of the two.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
A lot of Cavaliers teams.
Yeah.
Our guy, the Stat King, put together 7 stats.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the stat, and you can just tell me at first if it's someone from 2025 or 2016, and then we'll
So
try
those
to
are the
guess
two
it.
So only
teammates
two
you're
teams.
picking
Okay,
from.
so
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year's
So
team
only
in
people-
2016.
exactly.
Oh, I thought we were going to go like back to like when I had like Will Cherry on my team, like 2014. You guys were like, yo, who the hell's Will Cherry?
2011.
Yeah, like literally, like I had like Manny Harris was on my teammate. Like I had like,
man.
yeah, I had
I wonder who your oldest teammate is right now. Like the age, he could be pushing 50 probably.
my
right?
oldest teammates.
Probably Channing Frye with your fucking old ass. Yeah, I know. Road tripping's wild. Richard Jefferson, you too, fucking baldy. Shout out road tripping, man.
Road tripping.
It all started in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay. There's only 11 games in NBA history where a player shot 8 3-point field goals without a miss. So they went 8 for 8,
went 8 for
basically.
8?
This player did it. It's either a 2016 teammate or a 2025 teammate.
That's a tough one.
8 plus 3 points without a miss.
Who are the shooters? JR, Kyle Korver. But those guys, if they got the many makes, they're slinging like 12.
12, yeah, they're getting a lot up. 8 for 8.
No. Yeah, you can't miss. You're 8 for 8 for
8
the
for
game.
8?
Perfect
Oh.
game. Yeah. So like,
Come on, fam.
Was this year?
Yeah.
Oh, who was it?
you want me to tell you?
George?
Just happened.
No, not him. Although he did go off last night.
Philly.
Oh, Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
20,
Yo,
25.
Ty, you're a Cleveland legend.
Ty's a Cleveland legend now.
He's a chill guy.
So basically, maybe I said it wrong. You had like the most makes without a miss. 8 for
Oh,
8.
okay, okay.
Okay.
That was a sneaky 8 threes he made.
That's right.
I was like,
Without
wait,
missing
you
one?
didn't miss?
He didn't miss. Like,
I was more pissed we lost to 50.
exactly, right?
Fuck your 8 threes.
Like, fuck. We lost.
Yeah,
Like,
33.
Bona and shit.
Okay, Tristan Thompson, you had 306 offensive rebounds in the 2012-2013 season. Only one of your teammates have ever had a season with more offensive rebounds. Is it a teammate from 2016 or 2025?
No, 2025. No one from 2016. No way. I did all the rebounding.
I would say you were wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, K-Love?
He like that little bastard.
I'm like that bastard. The rule was I get offensive rebounds, he gets defensive rebounds. Really?
That was the rule.
Imagine being that good. Those teams are so good. I'll offensive rebound.
Don't touch my offensive
Yeah, I
rebounds.
mean, like, we literally had like an understanding. Like, I would never go for defensive rebound. Like, they're like, Tristan, you average like 5 offensive rebounds, but your defensive rebounds is like only like 3. I'm like, bro, I'm not
want the
boxing
offensive
out.
ones.
I'm not boxing out. So that's all like defensive rebounds like all skill, like boxing out and like pushing back.
Yeah.
Like it's too hard.
And it gets a little shaky when you have one guy that doesn't box out and he lets someone come in and just monkey
cram
dunk
it.
down.
Yeah.
You're like, come on.
I always think about if I were a high school coach now, I would make people watch you because when the shot goes up,
It's tackle
you don't
football.
you turn around and find a dude. Like you turn your full body around and find a dude and hit him and then go look at the ball.
That's the fundamentals. That's
Yeah.
what we were taught as kids. That's the way. That's how you're supposed to box out.
Yeah, like find somebody first.
Yeah,
Don't
feel
watch
them.
the ball and feel for someone.
Yeah, that's you get someone's balls on the back of your head getting dunked on. Like, no, you got to go find him. Like,
You're like,
I remember
oh,
Coach
what was
Hurley
that?
hit him in
Yeah.
the chest,
Yep.
turn around and push back. Like he'll do the drill.
He exactly
Box
does
out
it,
drill.
but it's effective. It's why he's like, not saying not athletic, but not a super athletic guy, rebounding very effectively.
Yeah, I mean, K-Love was not the most athletic, you know.
But
so
he's
like,
a killer.
Yeah.
they have correlation, you know.
Okay, here's another good one. Only 8 Cavs players have had seasons with this stats. Okay, you have to have 150 or more three-point shots made
Okay.
while shooting over 42% from 3. One of your teammates did it.
150 makes.
So they made 150
at
makes.
42%.
42%.
How many makes is that per game?
Yeah,
Is 82 you would make 2 a game?
yeah, it's like a little
No,
more
a
than
little
2. It's like
under
2.5.
But someone's not playing 82 that's shooting like.
Yeah, because I'll be real. Like, I know Jared never shot 42% from.
No,
from
'cause
three.
he
he
takes-
takes the wild ones. He'll take
Yeah.
the 911 shots. He doesn't mind it.
Yeah.
He'll take the bad shots. Yeah, like he wasn't afraid to like get FGAs up. Like, and then, like we almost set him up. Like, we'll give him the grenades. He wasn't tripping. Like he never got mad about grenades.
Yeah, I'll shoot it.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
shoot
I'm
it.
gonna say.
This
40
player actually did it in back-to-back seasons, which is impressive.
with the Cavs.
With the Cavs.
This is probably someone like like was Ramon Sessions wasn't a good shooter.
No, he wasn't on 2016 team though.
Yeah.
So was this guy? See, this is the tough part. Oh, because if he's on a 2016 team, he was definitely 2017.
Is who is
Channing?
No,
Not Channing.
Who's Deron Williams? He wasn't here long enough.
No, we called him. We got him on the buyout market.
This has to,
The names are
It has
close.
to be like a point. It has to be like a point guard because this is like low attempts but really efficient, and you had to be wide open.
Is it Delhi?
No, it
gonna
is
say.
Mo Williams. Delhi would have been
Wait,
a good
hold on.
one.
But no, hold on. Mo only played 1 year. The second year he got hurt.
Okay,
Sat
so
out.
maybe he did it back-to-back seasons, one with another team, but he did it with the Cavs.
Okay, I can see that Mo. Yeah, I
Okay.
can see Mo.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive, though. 150 plus makes at 42% or more is
Yeah.
that's a high.
now in the NBA, if you're shooting 42, they're like, yeah, get 6 of them up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mo was in
exactly.
the wrong era. He missed that wave.
Here's another good one that maybe it's obvious to you. Most career points per minute. Points per minute out of any teammate you've had, either 2016 or 2025.
So it's got to be a guy that comes in and cooks.
Points per minute. Yep.
Yeah, points per. It's got to be, was it Ty Jerome again?
No, give us this. What team?
So yeah, it's 26 or 25. I think
is-
a lot of people would have thought it would be LeBron.
No,
not
this
LeBron.
has
He plays too many minutes.
because this scores more points. It has to be 2025.
Yeah. But who gets buckets quick? Or
It's
doesn't
got
play a lot?
to be between like DG or Don.
Yeah. Is it
be.
DG?
It's Donovan Mitchell.
Really?
Which I think is even more impressive because he
plays a lot of minutes.
Plays
though.
a lot of minutes.
Yeah, wow.
So he's
He's a real two guard. He's a real two guard.
This one I feel like went viral. Everyone knows this player has the most wins in the 2020s of all
George.
The man,
George.
G-Wagon.
You already
Easy one.
know.
Okay, what about this one? Most consecutive games played.
This player played in 82 games in 4 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, the guy's sitting fucking right here.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Put
huge.
my fucking labor in. I was tired.
Super impressive. I mean, that stat alone is like really, really impressive. I don't know how the hell you do that. We did last year. You were Mr. Reliable, 82 games.
82,
and that was
you
like
know that.
awesome.
Not missing
good.
one. No, but that was a cool basketball segment. But, you know, I know we talk a lot about basketball on this podcast, but obviously you have a bunch of different avenues that you could get into outside of basketball, whether if it's fashion, you know, broadcasting, or even the crypto space. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about what you have planned after basketball and what it looks like for you.
So you got to hear about the brand.
Oh, I
Hey,
see it.
plug.
Hey,
Tough.
Courtside Crypto.
Courtside Crypto.
Zoom in on that
Yeah,
beat.
go ahead and listen to that pod. Great one.
Yeah. No, I think for me, like, you know, post basketball, like you said, there's so many different areas and avenues I can get into. And I think, like, I always think, like, the purpose of a man, you always have to have something going on, right?
Yep.
I think basketball is definitely I've done well for myself and put myself in great position. But I feel like, you know, I always like hungry for the next thing, right? And I think I've always I know I'm gonna do something in basketball, probably whether it's the front office side or doing TV, but I wanted to do something else that can like actually help others. And for me, it was always about like financial literacy, right? I think as a black man, as a minority, I think we're not given those tools in our communities and growing up just because we don't have no one to look up to, right? Most people that I grew up with, they work like regular 9 to 5. They don't go to university or college, right? So for me, having this position of power and educating myself, I felt like it was only right to pay it forward. So, you know, obviously I was going to do that regardless of if it was not crypto, but I just seeing how the world's changing and how, you know, digital assets are becoming a thing and how the world is changing. And me and George talk about, like, he bought XRP, like digital asset and decentralized banking is basically the future of the world, right? I think America has done such a good job in terms of brainwashing Americans to think that centralized banking, and what I mean by centralized banking, it's like your normal bank, your traditional banking, right? We've been taught and brainwashed that is the
only
way,
value asset.
Yeah, only value asset, and that's the only way to generate wealth, right? But for me, and going to Singapore and meeting people that are from the other side of the world, whether it's people in Dubai, Saudi, Singapore, Malaysia, Asia, that side of the world is understanding what's to come in the digital side of assets, right? And for instance, I'll give you an example, right? When you go to Wells Fargo, and let's say I want to send George a wire, right? I have to go into the bank or call, explain what the wire is for, get a confirmation, get the address of George's bank, so much details, right? But like with crypto and cryptocurrency and having that digital asset in your digital wallet, I could send George literally I was on a plane from like Singapore and I sent someone 30 grand on just using Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And like obviously, you know, crypto's took some heat just because of the whole FTX thing, and that was an American company. So obviously put a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But I think with Trump being in office and him pushing the currency, because he understands that Asia, Russia, and the Middle East, they are developing this, and the one thing about Americans, always want to be in power, right? So to be in power, you have to be steps ahead. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he came out with the Trump coin, and he's like, you know, he's passing a law where there's no capital gains tax on crypto, which is a huge thing because, you know, for instance,
it allows crypto to kind of grow.
Make
allows
your money back on your money.
Yeah, make money back on your money. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, you can go to Chase Bank right now, right? Take whatever amount of money you want to go do. They'll tell you, you know, you give us your money, we'll give you 4% back. Yeah. They tell you, be thankful, be happy, and then you're supposed to be like, woohoo, right?
Yeah, you're like 4% on what's already in there.
Yeah, right? But you don't know that, like, I can make 1% a day just by borrowing and taking my cash, my crypto, borrowing and lending it out to protocols. I make 1% a day currently, right now, on my money, like with my eyes closed, right? So, but the reason why I'm able to do that is because these platforms, with crypto being so new in the space, so many people are borrowing, lending to use the money and assets for other things, right? But also it makes you think, if we're just giving our money to the bank and they're investing it, what's the real returns on it? You're giving me 4%.
Yeah,
but you're
off of your
Well, it's really
50.
how much are you really getting back?
Yeah.
The banks are probably getting back maybe
More.
anything probably above 10%.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to pay the pimp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
People are in power and they don't want to give up their position.
Yeah, right. And I think for me, I learned that because I remember. So I have BlackRock, who is one of my portfolio managers, right? And I remember during 2020, and I'm not diving into this. Met with them and I talked about Bitcoin. During COVID, I think Bitcoin was like down to like, I think it was like 40 grand or something like that. It was low.
like 33 or
Yeah, it was low, but and everyone was buying, right? So I remember talking to BlackRock and I'm like, hey, like I want to start buying some Bitcoin. I feel it's a digital asset that's going to grow. It's the OG in the space. It's been around for a long time. A lot of other countries are running their economy on it, so it has to have some stability, right? And I remember BlackRock would tell me like, no, we manage trillions of dollars for 70 different countries. We don't believe in that, blah, 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 right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll leave it alone, right? Because it's BlackRock, right? They're a publicly traded company. They're one of the tops. Them and Vanguard, top of the top, right? Come to find out 3 months later, you start seeing on social media, they were buying like 33% of the supply of Bitcoin worldwide. So that was like a red flag and a green light to me. It was like, okay, I was onto something. But then it's the whole thing about the banking, right? Centralized banking. We're gonna only, if it benefits us, we'll allow it to happen.
It's about the bottom dollar.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
if we can't make money off it or make our commission and cut, we're not gonna encourage you to, because remember, like me and George talking on the bus, right? Like if I'm gonna take this money out from one portfolio to a different one, they're gonna get questioned by their boss. And they're not gonna make the same commission, right? So that just triggered me to like, okay, I was onto something, and that's why it makes me even more thirsty or more hungry now to really dive into this crypto space. And like, my goal is to basically take the gentleman, man or woman that works at the concession stand at the arena, and instead of them going to H&R Block or Fidelity and taking their bi-weekly check, $100, and like going to give it to like a random stranger, learn how to open up a wallet, learn how to yield, and DeFi. DeFi is basically a form of creating passive income, because I think that's what everybody wants to do, is create passive income, right?
Yeah, you're lending out your money and getting a return on it.
Yeah, so it's like, why not? Finance is the only area in the world where we trust a complete stranger. Think about it right now. When you want to buy clothes, it's the clothes that you want. When you want to date a chick, it's someone that you want.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our finance, we're going to a complete stranger in a bank and trusting that they're going to make the right decision with something that we worked hard for.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm not saying take all your money and go into DeFi.
But take
crypto.
more control.
Take more control. Like I believe crypto is like you're gaining back your financial freedom.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's
Yeah.
you're craving to have financial freedom.
Well, it sounds like, number one, your Canadian education is helping you right
you
now.
fucking smart
That
ass.
stuff, I don't understand much about that, but no, it does.
Stupid American.
Yeah, we're like, how much is candy?
Yeah.
No, but it's good that you're doing that. And like, the coolest part about it is that it can empower other people and educate other people. And anytime you're in a position to do that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, like for me, like if I can help someone, for instance, like I know a lot of families, like, they save up money for having like only be able to afford one kid to go to college, right? Like I want to, like for me in my podcast, it's just giving you the tools. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm giving you the tools and the resource for you to explore and put yourself in a position where instead of sending one kid to college, you could probably send two. Like that would make, that's what I want to run to someone and be like, hey man, like watch your podcast, got into DeFi, and like you were able to like help me gain passive income where I was able to take my family on a vacation and we haven't done it in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like that's what brings happiness to me. Like
Joy,
I want to be able to help families and people like change their life. Like that's what it's about.
Well, tune in to Courtside Crypto, and we will as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta get y'all on
awesome.
the pod. I'm gonna get y'all on there, man.
Yeah, we gotta get on there. Yeah.
Get y'all on there, man.
I have zero money to be able to invest in
Yeah, but
anything.
that's what
Hopefully someday I will.
Don't worry, we'll gift you something. We'll gift you something, man. We'll gift you something.
No, but this has been awesome.
Thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Appreciate you, Tristan, for coming on the Bench Sheet podcast. You heard it here first. Courtside Crypto, we're eventually going to be on it, but go educate yourself, create some financial freedom. But thanks again for coming on.
No, appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing, man. Appreciate it. Keep going. I told you, George, man, you got to
He's a star.
He's a star, man. He's a star.
Until next time, guys. Appreciate you.